thewellnesscouch.com, streaming wellness into your lives.
Welcome to 100 Not Out, featuring your hosts Dr. Damian Christoph and Marcus Pierce.
Welcome to another edition of 100 Not Out, a weekly podcast helping you to master the art of aging well. My name is Marcus Pierce, and I am here with the magnificent healer himself, the co-founder of the Wellness Couch and the Wellness Guys, the heroic healer, Damian Christoph. How are you, legend?
Good, Marcus.
That's the way.
Great to have you here again.
It's great to be at 100 Not Out.
So good to have
headquarters.
you.
And I haven't said this for a while. This episode, very proudly brought to you here on YouTube and the world over, listening on iTunes, Stitcher, and everywhere else, Libsyn and everywhere else, by Forage Cereal. And we haven't said this yet because it's new.
Brand new.
Gluten-free porridge. We now have a fourth installment, a fourth baby in the Forage family. And just whilst we're on it, tell us a little bit about this wonderful porridge. What is that on the top? Is that a cacao bean? Is that a cranberry? Is that a sultana?
I think it's some sultanas.
Goji berries?
With some honey is what they dress that with. It's a nice picture. It's a beautiful picture. But the porridge, being gluten-free, means it's oat-free as well. So made with quinoa, rice, amaranth. Beautiful. It makes it so creamy.
Sounds like hotcakes in the cooler months.
Oh, 100%.
This is
Absolutely.
a cooler month.
It's a cooler month brekkie. Yeah, but look, there are people, particularly those of you who have migrated from cooler parts of the world, that like to eat porridge all the year through. And this is a gluten-free version. So delicious, yum.
3 minutes?
Yeah, about 3 minutes.
Despite what some teenagers might say in the morning that they don't have time to make it.
As Jack this morning.
Don't have time to make porridge, Dad.
3 minutes.
I'm just going to have the cereal instead. And I said, how long does it take? 3 minutes. 180 seconds of your life. Now, speaking of
two YouTube
things,
clips in
that might stress people out, like 3 minutes. I just don't have 3 minutes in a day.
It's true. Some people will say that.
Some people say that, teenagers. But we thought we would dedicate this episode to, for want of a better term, healing the things which really give us, I kind of want to swear, but I won't, give us a you-know-whats.
The irrits.
The irrits. Because we're recording from 100 Not Out HQ here at the Christoph residence. And as you might be able to tell, we've got a lot of technology. We've got 2 computers, 1 microphone, 3 lighting kits, camera,
What else?
pull-up banners, stuff,
Router.
all the rest of it. We're covered in technology, and
Fold
when
back.
you've got a lot of when you've got a lot of moving parts, if one moving part doesn't work, it can be somewhat frustrating.
It can stuff up.
That's right. So we've had a couple of things. Not just one thing stuff up this morning, and that's been our
Skype.
Video Skype
Let's
recording
name and
software.
shame them.
Let us name and shame. Skype, if you're out there somewhere walking the streets.
And call recorder.
We want to talk to you because Call Recorder hasn't been recording the video element of our Skype interviews. So you may have seen some of our Skype interviews on YouTube and you're not seeing the other person talk and walk and move around.
And for some of you out there, you would have loved to have seen Tim Robard.
Yeah.
Robard.
We like to call him Robard, but he
I don't know
is
how
a
we got
Robard.
Robard. He's
Because
a Robard.
Robbins,
Maybe.
Tim Robbins. Anthony
Great
Robbins.
interview, by the way, with Tim. Great interview. So if you're watching this and you haven't seen the Tim one, go check that one out because that was awesome. Tim Robard's The Bachelor. All the girls should be, well, you can't really see it, but you can listen to it. You can listen to it. But that's one of our charges. That's one of our irrits right now is that the technology let us down. Now, we just had lunch just before and we're in a cafe. Great cafe. One of my more favourite cafes at the moment in Melbourne. And had a little coffee. But had some food.
You had an almond latte and you didn't like it. We had a sip of my almond latte.
I'm not into marzipan.
Oh,
Don't love it.
I said, mate, have a taste of this because it was good coffee.
It's too sweet.
He said, oh, yuck.
It was like drinking bee's bum. Like, it was so sweet.
How often do you drink bees bum?
It's just so sweet. Anyway, so waitress comes over. Lovely. I really like her. She's so nice. And I said, this is my mate Marcus. We do a podcast together, 100 Not Out. And he's from Byron Bay. And her first comment was, I hate Byron Bay. I was like, whoa, far out. How's that? Like, that was full on. That really made my food be undigested just for a split second because I was a bit shocked. A little bit, I got a bit agitated by that because I get agitated when people, I don't know.
Reflect. You get agitated when people reflect their stuff onto you when they're really in the act of listening. But they're not really listening. They're just telling you their agenda.
Yeah.
They had it was almost monologue-ish. It wasn't about what I was saying, it was about what she was saying. But that annoyed you, right? But I would say a lot of people have those conversations.
Yeah. She needs to learn maybe the art of small talk.
The art of listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art of small talk, absolutely. But let's just come back to technology for a moment,
Okay.
because we could go down that path. But I don't want to name and shame, right?
No.
But we'll name and shame Skype.
Yeah, Skype and call recorder.
But as a general rule,
Ecamm.
we're going to talk about the things that give you the irrits, which really can lead to resentment. How to actually move through that, heal that, for want of a bit of a term, so that you don't feel that you're constantly going from one annoyance to the other. And so if we use technology as an example, because most of us crack it if our phone doesn't work, our computer doesn't work, our recording doesn't work, if we talk about machinery, if our car doesn't start, if our plane is late due to mechanical reasons or refueling or whatever.
Yeah, everyone blames Qantas.
It's out of our...
It's better that they didn't take off.
Absolutely. And so let's talk about the things that don't go your way, so to speak, and how you can actually soften it so it doesn't really bother you so much. Like previous guest, Dr. Barry White said, how do we relax when stuff that doesn't go our way actually happens?
Well, actually, he said, we asked him what was his takeaway message for people who are younger. And he said, relax.
Relax.
Take it easy. So this is one of the strategies that you can use to relax. Relax more. A lot of people in their state or their attempt to relax are still charged up and, anxious or angry about stuff hanging around. So the word charge is where you've got some kind of an attachment that makes you frustrated, upset, agitated.
Think of like voltage going into demo. It's like
that, yeah.
So I want to give you another example, because I got a bit agitated yesterday.
Did
At
you?
the airport. And I've done the sky bus.
Imagine Marcus getting agitated.
Yeah, this is what I thought it would be good to share, because a lot of people think that I don't get agitated.
No.
But I was,
Really?
in my own way.
I can't believe it.
So I went to get the sky bus to come into the city, to then come see you. And I went up to get on the bus. It was right there.
Didn't have the ticket.
Didn't have the ticket. And she said, just go over there. She said, but don't worry, buses come every 7 to 10 minutes. And I thought, well, it's here. And literally, the ticket office is 20 steps, maybe 15 steps. There was no one in line. It's probably going to be a 45-second turnaround for me to go get my ticket and come back. Anyway, unbeknownst to me, I go get my ticket, come around, I'm 10 paces from the bus, and the bus leaves. And I was like, I was right there. And she knew that I was right there. And I'm on my way into the city to meet my mum for lunch, and I was like, oh, what a drainer. Like, I just want to get there on time, and I want to be late for my mum, and I want to be whatever. And I was agitated. And that...
I would have been.
Because the humanity of it.
But I had F and C's.
But
I'm so upset.
This brings me to step number 1 in the healing of things that give us the the heebie-jeebies when a bus leaves. Work out if you have an expectation. If you crack it at something, 99.9% of the time it's because you had an expectation.
That's been unmatched.
That's been unmatched. But the first step, did you have an expectation? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
We had an expectation.
The bus would wait.
Would wait. Or that the lady organising the ticket or letting me on the bus would go, hold on, driver, one more here.
Yeah.
So I did have that expectation.
Yeah. And it's highly likely that bus, because it left early, got held at the lights for 45 seconds.
Absolutely. And it needed me on the bus.
Yeah, cop that bus.
Step number 2.
Yep.
What was the expectation? I expected that she would actually respect my time enough.
Yep.
And we would expect this morning that when we pay for a service like call recorder
or Skype,
that it would work.
Pay for both.
That we pay for both. That's right.
And a good computer.
Yeah. So defining the expectation. My view is that as soon as we recognise that we have an expectation, a lot of the time that expectation is one-sided. So step number 3 is the expectation shared? So I had the expectation on this lady at the Sky Bus. I had the expectation on her that she would let me on. But she did not have the expectation on herself that she would let me on. So really it was like mental telepathy. I was expecting her to kind of know that I had an expectation that I'd be let on.
It's not possible. It's not possible.
No.
Had you maybe said, now, will you wait for me while I go get a ticket?
Absolutely.
She could have said, no, not waiting.
Yeah.
And you would have gone, "Arr," and got a bit grumpy. I was gone, oh, well, poor form, bad human nature, bad Sky Bus. But you expected her to...
So it's my responsibility. And this, I think, is the massive thing.
Big call.
No one else can make you and I feel happy or sad except ourselves, right?
That's right.
So whilst I was waiting in line, processing this, going, I'm friggin' annoyed. But I realised it was a first world problem, Mike.
Did you momentarily lose your happiness?
Yeah, because I went inside myself, into my head, going, why would someone do that? Like, are they angry at their life to actually say, you know what, not going to let the bus wait for them? Or was I like, are they following protocol? I called Sarah. I called my wife and I said, I'm waiting in line because this lady didn't leave me on. So I thought I'd check up with the family and the kids. And Sarah, she's great at this. She said, well, maybe they've just got a really tight schedule that they have to stick to. And I was like, true, babe. But I was like, 45 seconds or literally 10 paces onto the bus. I said, it wasn't life or death. Like, it wasn't going to be that bad. But at the same time, we don't know what their agenda was.
No.
And I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a molehill because, as I said, it's a first world problem. But you can apply this rationale to anything going on in your life where the moment we realise that we have an expectation that we haven't shared with someone else, like you said, if I really wanted to be brutally clear, I would have said, no worries, I'm going to go over and buy the ticket. Are you happy to wait for me whilst I do it? Like, I'll sprint over there if it means I'm going to get here. I'll leave my bags here and sprint over and come back. But she could have said, no, absolutely, under no circumstances will we wait. I probably would have even felt better.
But yeah,
because I would have just
there'd be
over.
a decreased expectation.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly, we got frustrated. I particularly got frustrated because the technology didn't work. And so our only solution was to have pre-tested it.
Yes.
So we could have measured our expectation or, brought our expectation down had we realised that our Apple MacBook Pros and our Skype and our eCam call recorder couldn't actually...
without naming names.
Couldn't handle it. So had we tested it, we would have been able to find out. So that would have actually helped us with our expectation of the technology.
So... Would it be? Is it glaringly obvious that now you having done over 300 podcasts, me having done over 200 podcasts?
I've done more than that.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Over 300.
500.
There you go. 500.
Yeah, get the numbers right.
Still over 300.
Don't tell me short. I've done over 500.
Haven't you done like 7,000?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So, is it possible that we become complacent the more we do things? Because I know that really top quality operations is that you test every time.
Yeah.
But I'm not that anal. Like, I can't be bothered. And when I've done it so many times, it's like, I don't need to test it. But why is it, and I know why, I'm sure you don't know why too, why is it that the time that you don't test is the time that it doesn't work?
Apart.
And the answer is to teach us a lesson on the importance of the process and the importance of dampening that expectation. Because, like you said, if we had done it, we would have adjusted
settings
and the rest.
Yeah, it would have been different.
Yeah.
Would have been different.
So, is the expectation shared?
Yep.
If it isn't shared, then we can't expect everything to go perfectly because it's all just our own stuff.
Yep.
And then, kind of what you and I did over lunch is why is that expectation a great thing? Like, why is it perfect? Why does it actually... So, let's just therapeutically work our way through this right now. Why do you reckon it was perfect that it didn't work this morning?
I don't know, mate.
I
I can't work it out. I think it would have been more perfect if we had video footage of Tim Robards and video footage of Wendy.
Yep.
And
all the way in Colorado.
All the way, yeah.
Oh no, Colorado?
Utah. Yeah, Utah near Colorado. It would have been great.
Absolutely.
It would have been great. I can't yet see how that's more perfect.
Well, what about the fact that now, when we do our next Skype interview, we will test and test and test.
Yeah. I suppose
and
we can't
they
turn
were...
that time count. But I suppose that means that we'll get to connect with them again. So we've got to call Tim again. Say, Tim, we need some photos or images so we can whack it up or whatever. So that might come across better.
Which then strengthens the relationship even more.
Yep. And then with Wendy.
She's coming over to Australia.
Coming to Melbourne. So maybe we can get a little bit of video footage of us having a latte somewhere.
Yep.
Well, that'd be good.
Yep. They're just a couple little things.
I'm starting to feel better, Marcus.
But on top of it... on top of it, if we play this out, like if you literally do this 20 times, because then we could say, all right, well then what are the benefits of having a stronger relationship with Wendy or Tim? Then it can actually get to the point where we can say, well, it opens up a lot more opportunities, then we can actually do more work together, and then we start to apply the principles of, say, being super diligent with things that are important to us over and over again. So people that are professional in, say, their exercise, they will have their shoes ready, their exercise gear every day at the same time. They don't get complacent on those things. So for us, it was just a good lesson on no matter how good you are at something, complacency will get you nowhere. Like it will knock you over. And particularly when you've done something over and over again, it annoys you even more because we both know that that's a fundamental, like you learn that on day one of the job, so to speak, which makes it even more annoying. But it also makes it even more humbling in an annoying kind of way that we have to go back to basics.
So let's make this a bit more human experience. So some people actually have a human charge on another human. And that actually is...
Let's call it a spouse that doesn't eat the same way as you do.
Yes, that's
right.
right.
Let's go there.
Or a spouse who wants to go to bed at the same time.
Yeah.
That could be something, you know. Some people I know would get very frustrated with having to go to bed at the same time as their spouse. Don't you think, Marcus?
It's quite possible.
It's possible.
But it's possible that all husbands and wives or boyfriends and girlfriends or partners and so on are equal and opposite. When we say
complementary.
Equal, as in no one's better or worse, but different in so many ways. So let's use the example which a lot of our listeners talk about, in that their partners eat very differently.
Very.
Okay.
Yeah, and get so frustrated. Some people get so riled about it. And they start using words, verbs, adjectives, all kinds of different things to describe their partner because they do something differently that's outside of their values.
And when you first met that person, did you fall in love with them because they were having a green smoothie or kale eggs or superfood acai bowl? And the answer, 99% of the time, is that was not the reason that you fell in love.
You were probably out at a pub. Or at a club somewhere.
Or at a wedding. Or at a 21st. Bus stop. Tinder.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Something like that. Facebook.
Instagram.
Snapchat.
Twitter.
Foursquare. I don't know.
Squarespace.
MySpace.
InSpace. Outer space. Anyway, sorry folks. So when people go, you know what, I'm going to go on a superfood journey. I'm going to start activating my nuts, putting acai in my muesli, doing this, doing that, juicing, fermentating, all the rest of it. And then hubby says, babe, what are you doing? Like, what happened to meat and 3 veg and a bacon and egg burger and all the stuff we used to do on a Sunday morning with a coffee and a here and then a whatever? And she's like, no, I'm doing this, doing that, you know, health of the family or whatever. And he's like, babe, like, this is a bit full on.
Hardcore.
And then she goes, what do you mean it's a bit full on? This is our family we're talking about. This is our kids. Don't you see?
Could be the other way around. It doesn't
matter.
Doesn't have to be the wife that's going mental like that.
But we're just using an example. It could be anything. It could be gay lovebirds. It could be husband, wife. Could be, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
I don't care. But it's the example of when we fell in love, it was not a drama. We didn't care what they drank, what they ate, whatever. And then over time, it does. My view is that we have to let the individual nature of our partners stay individual. Because if we try and make our partners like us, particularly when there's resistance,
you'll start to see all the things you don't like about yourself in the other person.
Oh,
how's that for building charge? That's not good. You want to maintain the complementary.
And a relationship killer.
Deadener. That's a dead flat on your back. No good. Yeah, so it's celebrating the differences and managing expectation, but not expecting someone to meet your standards all the time. I think it's really important.
And recognizing that if you have a higher expectation on something in your life than a significant other, whether it's a partner or even a child, you can't, if you choose to push your values and expectations onto them,
or your agenda,
but they don't agree to it, you're just going to set yourself up for major disappointment. But if you both agree on something, so you both have an expectation, like Sarah and I when we first met, I was beer and nuts, and she was coffee and cake, right? And then
That's cute. You guys are cute.
No, but I'm talking about the opposites, right? I'm talking about the opposite nature, right?
So cute.
Beer and nuts, coffee and cake.
Yeah.
But now I'm more coffee and cake, but I still love beer and nuts. But anyway, about a month or 2 months in, I can't remember, she said, because she did all organic, and I was like, what is organic? Anyway, we decided to go do a cleanse, and we went to Joe the organic grocer.
Joe Whitten.
No. Yeah, that sounds good. Joe in Northcote, right?
Right.
And
Here.
Yeah.
In Melbourne.
Yeah, and we got like $100 or $200 worth of organic food. Most amount of money I've ever spent on food in my whole life. We whipped up all this food on a Sunday. Soups and stews and everything. I was working at Channel 9 at the time. I distinctly remember it. I was having cashews and ginger tea. And I had my executive producer calling me mung bean. And I had headaches and I was feeling terrible. And all I could think of, I can't work in this environment feeling terrible because it was a busy time. I called up my new girlfriend at the time, Sarah Pierce, and said, babe, I can't do this cleanse
Sarah
thing.
Pierce then?
Sarah Martin. Mm-hmm. I said, I can't do this. And she cracked it. What do you mean? We've just spent all this money on all of this incredible food and all the rest of it. And that moment was justified because we had made an agreement together, right? We said together, we're going to do this for 7 days. And I pussied out because that's what I am. Whenever I do a cleanse, I'm the weak link. Sarah will like stay the course. I'm like, let's just back out of here, right? But what happens a lot is that expectation's never agreed upon. It's like, we're going to do this, but there's no we. It's like, this is what I've decided that we're doing, and you don't have a choice. And that's where resistance comes, and that's where resentment comes. And a lot of the time, if we recognize that we never entered this agreement together, then the relationship begins to sour. If we have an agreement together, like let's buy a house together, that's cool. You know what you're both getting into. But if you've got a big decision that is driven by you, that's when relationships begin to really stretch.
All right, I've got a question for you, Marcus Pierce. Let's say, for example, you've had the conversations and you've both agreed and you have set your expectations fairly, but one person lets the team down.
Well, I would say, do we have an expectation that that person will get it right 100% of the time? Now, everything has its consequence.
Because
so if we're talking,
there's people out there asking that question. They're going, yeah, but I've had this chat with my partner, and he or she didn't do it. You know, surely I'm right and justified in cracking it.
Well, okay, absolutely. So I'm writing down here sick puppy syndrome, right?
Ooh.
So it comes down to the magnitude of the indiscretion. If we're talking about cheating on your spouse, right, and they said they'll never do it again, and then they do it again, and they've already done it 5 times, and they do it a 6th, you can't save a sick puppy on something that big. I mean, there's people out there that have lived their whole marriages in those scenarios, and that person was a sick puppy, but really both sick puppies. But that person said, you know what, I'll tolerate it. But if you're not going to tolerate it, then you get out because you can't save a sick puppy.
Yeah.
But if it's something like, I'm not going to eat chocolate anymore, and they do eat chocolate, well, we're not talking life or death. You might be paleo and they're having Cadbury's. You crack it all you like, but we're talking about Cadbury's chocolate. We're not... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or Lindt.
If we raise the bar and we talk about smoking, well, then we're raising the bar a bit because now we're talking what feels a bit more like life and death, particularly if there's a family history. Yeah. And then you're actually thinking about real life and death. Then if you raise it further and we talk about poor communication, like emotional abuse, where they're saying, get out of the conversation, no, I wasn't talking to you, no, you're not important, all the rest of it. That's emotional abuse. Yeah. And then, as my mum would say, well, you get what you put up with. So are you putting up with something over and over and over again? And that's building on the layers of resentment. So I think we have to judge everything on how big is it, you know?
So why... All right, we started off this this podcast talking about relaxing. How is managing charges going to assist you in relaxing?
Well, I can probably only share, and I don't mean this to sound me, but I could only really answer that by talking about what I do with Sarah. Because I'm loud, Sarah's quiet. I love noise, Sarah loves... I love war, Sarah loves peace. Like, I'll pick a fight, have a big conversation with someone. I don't care of the consequences. Where Sarah would much prefer peace.
Yeah. Peace, love and mung beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love fast, Sarah loves slow.
Yeah.
We're opposite in so many ways. So the only thing that I think of is that when I first met Sarah, I would consider myself insensitive, and Sarah's quite sensitive. She'll cry at the drop of a hat, whereas I generally don't cry. But at the time, I thought, that's like you got to toughen up. Like, the world's a big, bad place. You got to be strong in this world. And Sarah would cry, and I'd be like... But then I realised, like I've recognised with me, Sarah's sensitivities makes me a more compassionate human being. So rather than me going, Damo, stop your whinging or stop crying or whatever, like, get on with it, push on.
Would you say that to Sarah?
I might not say it, but I might think it at the
Call it
beginning.
demo.
I might think it. Go
Yeah.
like, you've just got to toughen up here. Like, this
Yeah.
is not a time to cry. And
You'd
a lot
only
of
think it now, you wouldn't say it.
Well, now I would never think it. Now
Right,
instead of
okay.
it cries, like I genuinely, so just get it out. Like Sarah needs to get her tears out because a lot of women, like a lot of men, and this might sound sexist, but a lot of men say, I can't hang around you whilst you're crying. You cry, I'll leave you to cry and I'll come back when you're feeling better. And for some women, that's what they want from the man. But for other women, they actually want a hug and they want to cry in their man's arms and just cry it out. And the man's just got to sit there and go, I don't know why she's crying. I don't really get what it's about. For me, it's like you wouldn't even consider it cry. If she wants to cry, that's great. Get it all out, babe. This will be awesome. And they feel 100 times better. Now, in the past, I'd go, far out. Like, this is a drainer. Like, crying over nothing. But again, without threatening this episode to be a double, triple episode, women make little things big. Well, female energy make little things big. Male energy make big things small. If we don't understand that and accept that and love that for what it is, that's when resentment and frustration creeps in. On
Okay,
that
so the
humanistic level.
key thing is, for those of you who are watching or those of you who are listening, the idea is to decrease the amount of charge and number of charges that you do have, so that you can actually find a bit more peace, so you can relax a little bit. Because, as our esteemed GP guest before, only earlier on, Dr. Barry White told us to do was to relax more, just relax, which I think is wise. That relaxing makes you happy, relaxing makes you calm, relaxing allows you to grow and to be able to repair and heal. It's, I suppose, in scientific terms, it's become more parasympathetic. Discharge some of the sympathetic, stuff you've got going inside the body, get more parasympathetic, digest and think and contemplate a bit more. So I think by decreasing your charge and the amount of charges, you're going to relax more. That's
Absolutely.
what we're trying to say.
Yeah, and I think just, what we were saying at the end was, like, we've gone through what if you have an expectation, most of the time the answer will be yes, and it's all about expectation. Define that expectation. Why did you have the expectation, which is kind of what we didn't say, but why did you have the expectation? And a lot of the time it's because we almost telepathically think that the other person thinks the same way as we do. But often if it's a spouse or a partner, we end up finding out that they were thinking the opposite, not the same, and that's where the difference comes. Did you have a shared expectation? A lot of the time you didn't. And then what Damo was just saying then is in order to relax, because we kind of got to the unlearn stress and relearn relax, what's great about that person being opposite? Or what's great about the Skype call recorder not working? What's great about the thing that gives us the irrits? Because when we work out what's great about it, what's great about Sarah crying easily, when we can really not just intellectually understand it, but feel yourself becoming more compassionate or more understanding or whatever, that's when, in my view, resentment begins to lower, volatility begins to lower, and you're just a calmer, more relaxed individual.
Nice.
Cool?
Nice.
Yeah.
I learned.
I love doing this with you.
It's good, hey?
It's good fun. Really hope you've enjoyed this episode of 100 Not Out, folks. You can find out more at thewellnesscouch.com. Check out all the podcasts available at thewellnesscouch.com. Over 20 these days. Lots
Amazing,
of
hey?
airplay there, lots of choice for you. Make sure you go to YouTube, look at 100 Not Out, all of our episodes from 150 onwards. They're really excited to have you viewing this episode on YouTube. If you want to find out more about the great Damo, go to damianchristoph.com. For myself, go to marcuspierce.com.au. See you on the next episode. Until then, may the rest of your life be the best of your life.
This has been a production of TheWellnessCouch.com. Check us out on Facebook and join in the conversation on Facebook.com/TheWellnessCouch. Subscribe to each show on iTunes and check us out on Twitter. The Wellness Couch, streaming wellness into your lives. Whilst the Wellness Couch presenter endeavor to provide accurate and helpful information to their listeners, these podcasts cannot take into account individual circumstances and are not intended to be a substitute for health and medical advice from a qualified health professional. You should always seek the advice of a qualified health professional before acting on any of the information provided by any of the Wellness Couch podcasts.